What is going on, Haunt Nation? Well, it is time to stay somewhat relevant. I've been a little bit quiet, but recently did two haunts. We did a haunt, Valentine's Day haunt, a week before Valentine's Day proper, mainly because I was working on Valentine's Day, so that was a no-go. And recently we went out to the Scarehouse in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to do their basement. So, short and sweet first. The 13th hour haunt in Wharton, New Jersey was excellent as always. Not so much going on for the Valentine's Day theme that I saw, but all in all, a great haunt, solid 8. Actors were amazing, scenery's great. Just an overall good haunt all the time. So that's definitely one to check out. Now, to the Scare House. Or the basement. So Scarehouse basically ran into a little bit of a problem this year. They shit the bed this year for the regular haunt season. They were supposed to open for the haunt season. They never did. They were moving locations. Never happened, so they didn't open. So I was more than surprised when I saw ads for the basement being open around Valentine's Day. Now, again, I worked, so it's a no-go. But recently saw an ad, like, a few days ago, that they were going to be open for this weekend as well, and maybe a weekend or two into the foreseeable future, depending on how their sales went, yada, yada, yada. So figured, what the hell, give it a try. Last time I did the basement as a haunt was a few years ago. I think it was the first year that they did it. I could look it up in my book, but I'm not 100% sure. So, yeah, last time I did it was a few years ago, and it was intense. It was intense. It was uncomfortable. It was extreme. It wasn't the crazy side of extreme. We're not talking McKamey Manor extreme, where it's like an S&M dungeon. We're also not talking Blackout New York, which I haven't done, but I have a good friend that did, and he described a fairly extreme experience. But it was a level of extreme that I thought would be decent, would be fun, and it was. The first time. So now on to this time. Drove all the way out to Pittsburgh. It's about a 5-hour drive from where I live. So it's a little bit out there. It's in a somewhat industrial section. It's in a completely different spot than the last time. Obviously, like I said, they moved. There is street parking, not very much of it. There's a parking lot nearby, $10 to park. Not terrible. I, bit the bullet and did the parking thing. Had a 7 o'clock time slot. Got there early, went in, did the process. They have you sign a waiver because it is an extreme haunt. So you have to sign a waiver. They also confiscated my phone, keys, basically everything that I had in my pockets. So, which I'm fine with. I don't need all these extraneous things. Hung up my jacket and prepared for the haunt. So I have to say, we went into the first room, and the initial actor in that first area. Oh, we also, let me back it up another couple inches. They also wanded us while we were there. So they had a wand looking for metal objects as well. That was right in the area before we went into the room. Obviously came out clean because they took all my stuff. I hung my jacket outside as well. The woman in the first area definitely, had my blood up. It was good. I was ready. You may get touched. You may get pushed against a wall. You're going to be made to feel uncomfortable. You're going to be put in situations that are going to be extreme. And I was like, yeah, I was ready. And, sadly, no, no, not at all. As a matter of fact, I went with somebody who is a self-professed giant chicken, who said that the 13th hour in Wharton, New Jersey, that staple haunt that I enjoy, was far scarier and more uncomfortable, even though that's not really an uncomfortable haunt. So this one's run a little bit differently than some other haunts. Basically, you're brought in room by room. Each room has a theme and something going on, and you go through that room, and you interact in that room, and then you go out from that room into the next where the same thing occurs, and on and on and on. Whereas most haunts, you're just kind of walking through and things are happening as you mosey through. You're actually stopped in each of these rooms. But unfortunately, it did not live up to any level of extreme. It didn't even live up to the level of a regular, basic haunted house. At no point did I or my companion feel even mildly uncomfortable. At no point was I scared, which I get it, yeah, whatever. But even my companion was not scared at all. And on top of it, it was short. I'm going to say one, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8 rooms. They're also sharing a space with escape rooms, which I did not do. We didn't get there early enough or book an escape room, so I can't comment on their escape rooms or how they are. But it seems like maybe they're using most of their space for their escape rooms and less for this basement haunt. But again, did not live up to what I expected of the basement, especially since the experience I had in the basement last time far, far, far outweighed the experience. As a matter of fact, the experience I normally have in the Scarehouse proper is a far better, far more immersive, far scarier, if you want to use that word, experience. So, down to it, costumes. They were wearing costumes. Nothing elaborate, though. Nothing that was like real costumey. So maybe a 5 or a 6 out of 10 for costuming. Scenery, again, we're going room to room, and the rooms were scened, but the scenery was nowhere near. There was nothing elaborate about it. I mean, we're not talking the level of a haunted house like the Scare House or Brighton Asylum or, God forbid, Dent. We're just talking, enough that you're in a different room and there's kind of a theme to the room, maybe, but nothing elaborate. So again, for scenery, we're going for like a 5, maybe a 6 out of 10. The actors were into it. They really seemed to enjoy their job. They were putting themselves out there and doing what they had to do. Unfortunately, I think somebody told them not to do it. They said, just kind of make it a interactive experience, but don't make it an interactive experience. So, the actors, I'd give an 8 out of 10. However, my overall disappointment with the experience itself has nothing to do with them or what they were doing. Just the fact that, I really didn't get touched. I've been manhandled more in Bane, which is now in Manhattan and was in New Jersey. Been manhandled more in the 13th hour in Wharton, New Jersey, when I'm wearing a glow necklace. It just was not touched. The scare factor, you know, it 0, 0, 1. It wasn't there. There was nothing scary. There was nothing scary at all. Interactivity, sure, we were interactive. 7, 8 for interactivity. They interacted with us, but that's the theme of this haunt. This is like the 13th hour haunt in Indianapolis is similar. You go into a room, you interact, you do stuff, there's a theme, and then you go on. Again, that haunt had more elaborate scenery, better costumes, and it's a really, really new haunt, that one. Man, the hands-on factor, I'm going to say maybe a 2. I mean, we were barely touched. There was a little bit of hands-on interactivity, but really nothing more than I can get at any other haunt with a glow necklace. Level of discomfort, again, I'm putting that as 0 or a 1. We're talking no discomfort, even from a newbie, even from someone whose first haunted houses were last season. They said they didn't feel uncomfortable at all. So you're talking about somebody that was pretty nervous about going in. Initially they were fairly nervous about going in, but kind of excited, and then walked out disappointed, just like I did. So honestly, they're going to have a few more weeks, maybe, of the haunt. If you want to check them out, by all means, go check it out. See if I'm full of shit or if I had an off night, which I really can't see, because I explained to them afterwards that, we were kind of disappointed. And, my companion, when asked, like, oh, how was the haunt? Replied, it was nice, which I don't think excited them very much. But again, up to you. It wasn't overly expensive. I think it was around $50 for 2 people, which is okay. And it was 30 or 35 for one, maybe. They only allow you to go in ones or twos. Also, before I forget, a little pull out for us out of the immersion factor. They only put you in ones and twos, so we went in as a two, and there was another group of two and another group of one that came in with us for the similar time slot. The other group of two, when we got to one point, ran into us. So that's kind of a screw up. I'm sure that pulled them out of the immersion. It definitely pulled us out of the immersion. And they were like, "Oh, we caught up to you." And I'm like, "Yeah, that probably shouldn't happen." But it did. So again, um, like I said, it was short, wasn't overly expensive, but it really wasn't what I was expecting, especially since I'd done the basement before. So, out of 10, I'm going to say, man, this is a 2. The only good thing was I got to do a haunt in, like near the end of February. And realistically, I'm thinking I should have went somewhere else or not gone at all because, we're talking 10-hour round trip and, spending the money, and it really just fell flat for myself and my newbie companion as well. Anyway, this is for staying relevant, kinda. And if we happen to hit any other haunts, we will let you know, and I will give you the real, true opinion, as we always do. Until next time, talk to you.